Home, home on the range, where the drones and the robots play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the geeks are happy all day. Come on, drone. Come on, little robot. You're embarrassing me. You're embarrassing me, you little robot. So anyways, look at this. Well, oh wait, don't look too much. Yes, my robot might be a little dumb. I will admit it, my robot might be a little dumb. But look at this, look at this. See, this is one of the things I think is gonna be really cool about Silicon Dojo, is when we do things like teach code, I really wanna create these physical projects so that students can really understand how their code is working in real time and try to grasp where the issues may be. Like right here, I actually have two sensors pinging at the exact same time for some reason. Anyways, and so this is a way that, people can learn loops, they can learn if-else statements, they can learn all of that different type of stuff. And then when they're done, they actually have like this physical project that allows them to visualize what their code is doing. And so they might get a better idea of why their robot might not be the smartest robot in the world. So anyways, I kind of think this is an interesting thing. And again, so this is an Arduino. So Arduinos are not computers. They're just simply what are called microcontrollers. Essentially, you write code, and then that code just loops. What's happening here is these sensors are in an array. The motors are connected, and then when the sensors detect something in front of them, then they trigger the motors to turn in a particular direction, right? And so I think this is a good way to start teaching people, again, that idea of inputs, that idea of outputs, that idea of triggers and events, and it's in a package that people can actually visualize. One of the big problems we have in technology education is so much of the technology education is built around things like enterprise systems. Again, things like database, replication, that kind of stuff. And it's hard to get people's brains around that. Again, when you start talking about classes in programming or methods in programming, even if-else statements and that type of thing in programming, so much of it is just this stuff that happens on the computer screen. And a lot of times it's very difficult for students to really understand what's going on. They may be able to pass a test, they may even be able to write the code, but they don't really fundamentally grasp what's occurring. And so my idea here with Silicon Dojo is that we create these physical projects here so that it allows you to visualize, okay, when this sensor detects an object, there's an if-else statement somewhere in there, else if this detects an object, then these motors are going to turn in such and such a direction. And then when they turn, understand how that's functioning to go, should these turn for 1 second? Should these turn for half a second? Should these turn for 5 seconds? And basically, again, get an idea of how programming, really affects things. Again, if-else statements and that type of stuff. So anyways, there we go. This is our infrared Mastodon. So the infrared Mastodon, these use IR sensors. So these are very close detection sensors. This is the ultrasonic distance sensor Mastodon. That's having all kinds of problems. Poor little Mastodon, it's gonna need some repairs. But the ultrasonic distance sensor is nice because you can actually detect, you can tell it what distance it wants, it'll react to things. So anywhere from 1 to 30 centimeters, which is pretty far out there, it can actually detect objects. So that's pretty cool. So why I call these the Mastodons is one of the things I wanna do is I wanna have a sport. So again, one of the things to be thinking about Silicon Dojo is how do we create sports or whatever else. And so those are microcontrollers. And so what I want is to have these autonomous mastodons, and they'll be roaming around the plains of Silicon Dojo. And then students get to build one of these. So this is a Raspberry Pi. So it's a full-fledged computer, 4 gigs of RAM, quad-core processor, full networking stack, the whole 9 yards. And so with this, you can program this however you want. You can have a full LAMP stack on here. You can have a Django web server, whatever else. Basically, the GPIO pins here, you code them using something called code for them with GPIO 0 library in Python. So you actually code with Python. So I can control this directly with a Bluetooth controller. I can control this over the web. There's many different ways. I can design how I want to control this any way I want. And then the idea for our sport is mastodon hunting. So you see this big spear? Stop. It's a spear. It's a spear. I just want to say it's a spear. Anyway, see this big spear? What I want you to do is you'll be able to attack the mastodon. And since everything here is built in Lego, you can actually break the mastodon. So we can have like a timed event. So the mastodon is let go, and then whoever can kill a mastodon as quickly as possible, they are the winner. Or we can have people, students, using multiple hunter or vehicles or whatever else, and then they might be able to trap a mastodon. So maybe that's the idea. Instead of actually killing it, maybe you want to trap it in some way. So there could be 5 different vehicles all running around on the field trying to position the mastodon into a certain area, something like that. And so this is the kind of cool stuff that we're going to be doing here at Silicon Dojo. Now that look at all this, and that's one of the reasons, right? One of the reasons I want folding tables and I want these chairs that we can push away is what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to open this up. So this is a 700 square foot classroom. So imagine if we can open up like 500 square feet. So basically just this huge area here, and we'll all be around on the sides, and we can turn this into some kind of arena, the gladiator arena of Lego vehicles, right? And we can have obstacles. So I was building obstacles and things before. So we can put obstacles in there, and then we can have all kinds of weird, sporty type things. Right? Because that's the thing to think about with education. Like people forget about that with football, right? Football, baseball, lacrosse, soccer, all of those things. Do you realize those are actual educational things? Now they seem like they're super glued into the educational environment because people forgot that they're supposed to be educational, but they're actually educational. It's about real-time processing problems, working as teams, coming together to solve things, again, in a very quick fashion, the whole 9 yards. So again, one of the things I think about with Silicon Dojo is, okay, we're not going to do football. We're just not going to do football. We're not going to do lacrosse. We're not just going to go there as a sport. So one of the questions then is for Silicon Dojo, what can our sport be? And our sport is going to be hunter-killer, or something along those lines. So anyways, that's what I'm doing here at Silicon Dojo. Very exciting. This will come online soonish. I think we'll do our first Dojo Derby meetup probably next month because it's the middle of February already. And then we're going to start working on this whole idea of basically trying to create a sport out of these little Lego-based, technology vehicles. So anyways, leave your thoughts down below. If you like these kinds of videos, give us a thumbs up. If you don't like these kinds of videos, give us a thumbs up. What? Yeah, just give us a thumbs up. Come on now. Subscribe if you want to subscribe. Do all of that kind of stuff. And again, Silicon Dojo, it is now actually here in Asheville, North Kakalaki, authorityless gatekeepers, free to use your hands-on technology education that empowers you to do whatever it is you want to do. I don't know if there's a link down below. If there's not a link down below, just Google search Silicon Dojo or go to Meetup and take a look for Silicon Dojo Asheville. And so yeah, it's about to get real with Legos.